Well, we're about a day and a half later, and it finally stopped raining and the sun's come out. In fact, it's really bright. After spending the last day and a half with just dark clouds and being in the house, it's really bright outside. Bailey's out here enjoying the sun. So I kind of shot myself in the foot because I did all this work to get everything, all the dirt work and everything pushed aside. But what I didn't consider is that I'm gonna have a heck of a time pulling up next to the house now because this is all mud currently, and it's pretty deep on the north side. Probably got a good, well, I don't know, almost a foot of fresh dirt I just put down, and that's where I'm working at next. So we're supposed to have 2 days of dry and then possibly more rain, and then some dry and then some more rain. So definitely getting into that fall pattern of cooler weather and rain. So I don't know. I'll figure out some way around it, but I'm probably going to make a mess when I get over there unless it dries out really good. It's been so dry though that, I mean, everything's just soaked right up. We probably got any puddles. I think we got probably over 2 inches of rain. Filled the rain barrels up, but we didn't really get any, big washing through of water, so I could make sure everything flows properly. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on getting the next jig set up for the 35-foot trusses. That'll be my next task, and then I'm going to wait for this to dry out a little bit before I really do anything else, so I get those other trusses built and then go from there. Oh, it's chilling off fast for sure, that time of year. Well, I got all my inner pieces cut at the right angles, so I'm ready to start slapping those in. The reason why I do the end one first is because all the inner webbing is just straight up and down, and there's only one that way, and I can't have all those blocks inside messing things up. So these pieces I'm getting ready to put in actually act as my blocks or my spacers to make sure everything's in there right. And then when I get onto the next trusses that have the webbing that kind of is like a W, then I'll put more blocks in to hold those in place. So I got to do this one first. That will lock in the outline of the truss. What I did was, this is the original end piece from the very first truss I've made. These blocks haven't moved, and the same thing on that end. These outer blocks haven't moved, so my angle should stay the same through all the trusses that I've built. All I had to do was slide it down. I added another 8-foot piece, and then I had to add a 1-foot piece, and this is just kind of a filler to give me something to nail to. So I'll start laying the pieces in here on the inside. I don't know if I'm going to nail them down tonight or not, but at least I'll get them all laid in place. Actually, the piece that runs down the middle is the same in all the trusses, so I'll probably go ahead and get some blocks put in there and get it all laid out, and then tomorrow I'll come back and maybe nail it all together. Well, this next morning I went ahead and got all my chores done. All the animals are fed and happy. So I'm going to go ahead and get to putting this one together now. I think everything's lining up pretty much the way it was supposed to. For some reason these boards seem a little bit short, so it makes me a little bit concerned that they lined up perfect there, and this side they're off a hair. But I reran my string line. Everything looks like it's supposed to be there, and this is the side that I've been using for all the mono trusses and everything. So I don't want to mess with it because I want to make sure it lines up with the mono trusses when I get everything up there. So we'll go ahead and kind of risk it, I guess, because my concern that the mono trusses were slowly getting off, that when I get to these, I wouldn't be able to correct it. But I don't know how that's possible, since all my blocks and everything are in the same spot. And then plus the first truss attaches directly to the house. I ran the string, or ran the plates down along the side, so we should be good to go. The next problem I have is I really don't know where I'm going to put this once I get it all formed up, once I get it all nailed together. My only thought is to lean it up against the wall this way, I've got 7 of these to do, I think. So one end and then 6 of the inside ones. Maybe it's only 5 of the inside ones I got to count again. I can't flip them over here like I did before because I have all the wood here and also it wouldn't fit. So the only real option I have is to flip it up that way and then maybe drag the whole jig this way and then keep leaning them up like that. It's going to make it a little bit hard because to nail on the gussets on the backside, I got to do it vertically now instead of horizontally. But I think I can make that happen. We'll just have to see and figure it out as we go. I won't lie, it's kicked my butt. Throwing a 5-pound hammer over and over again. Where are you at? But more than halfway done. I got all the gussets on both sides. Actually, I put that in the wrong spot. It needed to go there to join these 3 pieces together. And I was just put it right down. I don't know what reason. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyways. So flipping it over was not easy. But now that I got it flipped, I can just put some blocks in underneath these to hammer these mending plates, or gussets in, whatever you want to call them. And then I still got to figure out where I'm going to set this at once I'm done. Putting up against this wall I think will work once I get the once I move on to the next ones, because they're all just nailed in. I won't have to be hammering or anything like I am now, and I should be able to nail them when they're up against the wall like that. So I think I'll try and get them positioned up there. But just got this side to go, and then I can move on to the next one, which will have the webbing all through the middle of it, and I'll have to redo all my blocks and then get cutting on those. I think I've got everything blocked off and ready to go now. This side still seems a little bit weird to me. I don't know why. Just like this piece was an 1/8 inch short, it seemed, but it fit pretty good on this side. So clearly there's a little bit of blocking that's messed up. But I can't change it because that's the same setup I used for the motto trusses and everything else, so it may have shifted a little bit, but I really can't change it now. My biggest concern with these is how far apart these supports are. They're roughly about 8 foot each. You're not supposed to go over 9 foot. Is it 9 or, pretty sure it's 9 or 9.6, something like that, on a 2x4 truss. So all these points have to be less than 9 feet, which they all are. But as anyone's used 2x4s knows, 9 feet is an awfully big area for things to twist and warp. So, and some of these 20 footers back here are not straight anymore. So I may have to get them up. I picked out the straightest ones I could find, and hopefully they won't twist before I get them up there. Once you get the decking on and everything, it kind of locks it in place. And I'm also probably going to put, we'll have supports going through it as well. And I can make those supports into a stiff back if I've got a low area. At least this is only 8 feet off the house, so it's not a huge deal there. I won't know until I start putting them up, though. I'm also a little concerned about how they're going to warp and try to bend on me. You know, when I picked up that end truss over there, it was bending and trying to warp quite a bit. Of course, once I got everything nailed in, that's why I didn't have one side done. It flopped around a bit, so it'll be interesting to see how well this one does. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those gussets to put in, and then My plan is to stand it up against the wall and then nail the gussets in on this side, and hopefully that should go pretty smooth. I got to pull one of these out as a template. That one is my template, so I got to pull that one out. I already have that template made. So I've got to cut a few more pieces before I can nail this one together. And then I've got to run in to do some work. So I want to get at least one of these done. So I'll get a couple more pieces cut, get one more done, and then I've got to leave for a little bit to get some work done. And then I hope I can tackle the rest of these tomorrow. Once this was the hardest part, getting the template, everything made back up, getting my jig, everything put in place, all the blocks in place, and then getting all the pieces cut. After that, it should go pretty smooth. So I'll get this first one knocked out real quick. All right, that didn't go so bad. Actually stood up pretty easy, and piece on the back went on pretty easy too. So I'd say this is going to work just fine, leaning these up against the wall. The more I get up there, the less it's going to bounce as well. So it gets stiffer and stiffer each time I put another one up. So I've already got all my top cords already cut. I've got a couple of the small pieces cut. But I gotta get ready to go. So I will tackle this tomorrow, unless I come back tonight and want to work in the garage for a while. We'll see. But this ought to go together pretty quick. It does, man, it really hurts my hand. I remember back when I was framing the original house, I had to start wearing braces on both my wrists when I sleep from the, they would just fall asleep. My whole arm it would hurt from my armpit clear down to like my pinky. And I wore those braces on my left hand for probably around 9 months, maybe a year. And on my right hand, I wore it for a bunch of deer out there. On my right hand, I wore it for well over a year. And I just started actually wearing it every now and then because it's starting to hurt again. It's all that holding the gun and the pressure and nailing, all that really kind of gets to me. But at least I know it goes away. I hope it'll go away this time. So that may be it for tonight. We'll see. But I got 2 of them built. I've got 4 full ones to go, and I think the last one I'm just going to kind of do it while it's up on the wall, kind of frame it in place like you would rafters and do it that way. Well, we'll figure that out later.